Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I am an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. The early spoilers for the week of August 17th on The Bold and the Beautiful promise a dramatic stretch of episodes filled with danger, betrayal, romance, and decisions that could permanently change the lives of several characters. At the center of the biggest mystery is Finn, who is expected to become terrified when something completely unexpected and frightening happens to his wife, Steffy Forrester, while they are still enjoying their time in Monaco. At the same time, Brooke Logan is becoming increasingly worked up over what Katie Logan has done, and her anger appears to be spiraling into another explosive confrontation between the sisters. RJ Forrester is also preparing to make an important pitch involving a brand new youth line, while Ridge Forrester is expected to bring Brooke back home to Los Angeles in an especially bad mood. Before getting into everything that could unfold during the week of August 17th through the 21st, however, there is still plenty of unfinished drama from the current week, and it all begins with Finn and Steffy enjoying what should have been a beautiful and emotional reunion in Monaco. On Wednesday, August 12th, The Bold and the Beautiful picks up almost exactly where Tuesday's episode left off, with Finn and Steffy happily reunited in Monaco and sharing a romantic kiss outside the church. For a moment, the couple can simply enjoy being together, surrounded by the beauty and warmth of Monaco, but there is something deeply unsettling happening just out of their sight. Sheila Carter is nearby watching them as they kiss, and the sight of her secretly observing her son and Steffy immediately gives the romantic moment an eerie edge. The occasion is especially meaningful because Finn and Steffy are celebrating the anniversary of the moment Steffy discovered that Finn was still alive after Sheila had shot them both and nearly killed them. Yet, even during a moment that should belong entirely to Finn and Steffy, Sheila's presence threatens to turn their celebration into something far more complicated because Sheila has once again inserted herself into their lives without being invited. The production also filmed scenes at the beach, suggesting that Steffy and Finn may decide to leave the church behind and enjoy the warm sand and beautiful Mediterranean setting. Unfortunately, their peaceful outing may not remain peaceful for long because Sheila appears to follow them. She has apparently been using the same driver to take her around Monaco, and there is a possibility that she has instructed him to keep track of Finn and Steffy's movements. Eventually, Steffy spots Sheila hiding on the beach, attempting to stay beneath a towel and hoping that she can watch them without being recognized. But Steffy is not fooled for long, and when she realizes exactly who is hiding there, she yanks the towel away and immediately recognizes Finn's mother. What follows is expected to be a furious confrontation as Steffy's anger erupts, forcing Finn to explain exactly how Sheila ended up in Monaco and why she is still following them. Finn may have to admit that Sheila was on the plane with them, but he had already told her to return to the United States. He believed she had listened because he heard that Sheila had purchased a return ticket, but Sheila apparently decided that she had some time to spare and could enjoy a little sightseeing before leaving Monaco. What Finn may not have realized is that Sheila's version of sightseeing has crossed the line into outright stalking because instead of keeping her distance, she followed Finn and Steffy to the beach. Steffy is understandably expected to be completely infuriated by the discovery, especially given everything Sheila has done to her family in the past. The confrontation could become one of the most explosive moments of the Monaco storyline, with Steffy making it very clear that Sheila has no right to invade their private time or continue inserting herself into their lives. But while Finn and Steffy are dealing with Sheila's disturbing presence, another major romantic development is unfolding elsewhere as Deacon Sharp takes a serious step toward Taylor Hayes. Picking up from Tuesday's episode, Deacon is down on one knee and asking Taylor to marry him, leaving her stunned by the seriousness of his proposal. Taylor does not simply brush him off because she asks whether he is genuinely serious about wanting to marry her, and Deacon makes it clear that he absolutely is. Still, Taylor has complicated feelings about the idea of getting married at their age, and she questions whether marriage is even necessary for the relationship they already share. Beneath her practical objections is an even deeper fear, because Taylor worries that putting a formal label on their relationship could somehow damage what they have built together. For Taylor, love is not the problem. It is the possibility that marriage could change the balance between them and ultimately ruin something that currently feels meaningful. As Deacon waits for her answer, the emotional weight of the proposal hangs between them, creating a very different kind of tension from the danger surrounding Finn, Steffy, and Sheila in Monaco. By Thursday, August 13th, Ridge is doing his best to romance Brooke and pull her attention away from the anger consuming her. Brooke, however, is still extremely upset about Fanny Grayson signing a fragrance deal with Katie, especially because Fanny had previously approached Forrester Creations and felt that the Forresters had turned her away. From Fanny's perspective, she simply found another opportunity after being rejected, but Brooke sees the situation very differently, and she is already viewing Katie's new business arrangement as another betrayal. Ridge tries to calm Brooke and bring her back into a better mood, but it is difficult to imagine Brooke simply letting the issue disappear once she and Ridge return to Los Angeles. There is a strong possibility that Brooke will confront Katie all over again and unleash another round of angry accusations, particularly because she feels Katie is taking ideas and opportunities connected to the Forrester world. Yet underneath all of this family conflict, another important development is taking shape, because Brooke and Ridge may soon have a reason to embrace RJ's ambitious idea for a new youth-focused fashion line. Meanwhile, Daphne Rose Walton opens her heart to Carter and tells him just how deeply she loves him, creating a tender and vulnerable moment between them. Daphne also confides that she feels cheated by life after receiving an early menopause diagnosis, because the news has forced her to confront fears about whether she will ever have the experience of carrying and giving birth to a child. Carter tries to give her hope by explaining that the diagnosis does not necessarily mean pregnancy is impossible, and that there may still be ways for her to become a mother. Their conversation could naturally lead them toward exploring IVF, egg donors, and the different possibilities available to them. Steffy may even offer Daphne one of her frozen eggs, potentially giving Daphne the opportunity to experience pregnancy and childbirth using an egg from someone she knows and trusts. The possibility carries enormous emotional significance, because what begins as heartbreaking news could slowly transform into a conversation about hope, family, and a future that Daphne may have feared was no longer possible. Then on Friday, August 14th, Carter continues doing everything he can to support Daphne as they begin learning more about in vitro options and what the entire process would involve. The two may start researching IVF, potential egg donors, and the practical details they would need to understand before making such a major decision. Their journey is filled with uncertainty, but there is also a growing sense that Carter is determined not to let Daphne face this disappointment alone. At the same time, Steffy is expected to become extremely emotional, And that heightened emotion may connect directly to the confrontation with Sheila or to something even more dangerous that is about to happen. The Monaco storyline appears to be building toward a genuine cliffhanger because Steffy may suddenly find herself in a life-threatening situation just as the week comes to an end. And in the most shocking twist of all, the person who may save her life could be the very woman who has caused her so much pain. It appears that Steffy may somehow take a dangerous fall, leaving her dangling and on the verge of plunging to her death, with the Mediterranean landscape turning what began as a romantic trip into a terrifying fight for survival. Sheila, rather than standing by and allowing Steffy to die, may suddenly race to her rescue and pull her back from the brink. The possibility is almost impossible to ignore because the storyline reportedly involves life and death circumstances in Monaco, precisely the kind of event that could change everything forever. After their vicious confrontation on the beach, Steffy could storm away in anger, make a terrible misstep, and suddenly find herself in danger, forcing Sheila to follow and save her. If Sheila truly becomes the person responsible for keeping Steffy alive, the emotional consequences could be enormous, especially if the rescue ends with the two women embracing. That single moment could completely complicate the relationship between Sheila and the Forrester family because it would force everyone to confront the uncomfortable reality that the woman they fear and hate may have just saved Steffy's life. This could also explain why Ridge and Brooke appear to be returning to Los Angeles without Steffy. Extras have reportedly been used as flight attendants for Thursday and Friday scenes, which may indicate that Ridge and Brooke will board the private jet and head back to LA after their business meetings are finished. Ridge may decide that Brooke has had enough of Monaco and needs to return home, while Steffy remains behind to enjoy more time with Finn. Of course, neither Ridge nor Brooke may realize that Sheila is still there with them, quietly following Finn and Steffy and moving closer to the center of their lives. That means Ridge and Brooke could be leaving Monaco just as the most dangerous part of the story begins, completely unaware of the crisis waiting to unfold. By the time they are back in Los Angeles, Steffy could have gone through a terrifying experience that changes the way everyone looks at Sheila. As the week of August 17th through the 21st begins, the fallout from Friday's cliffhanger is expected to continue, with the life-changing event in Monaco finally revealing its full consequences. Sheila may finally gain the place she has always wanted in Finn and Steffy's lives, although it would likely be a very cautious and conditional acceptance rather than a complete reconciliation. If Sheila is welcomed into the family in any capacity, future family celebrations could become incredibly awkward, especially with Deacon and Taylor potentially being part of the same gatherings. Yet Sheila may be willing to tolerate almost anything if it means she can remain close enough to Finn and Hayes. If saving Steffy's life gives Sheila a chance to see Finn and Hayes more often, she could decide that accepting restrictions and probation is worth the sacrifice because being allowed into their lives would be something she has desperately wanted for a long time. Finn, meanwhile, would have an enormous reason to feel conflicted about Sheila if she really saves Steffy. No matter how much he understands the damage his mother has caused, he would have to acknowledge that she stepped forward when his wife was in mortal danger. Finn could therefore find himself forever grateful to Sheila for making the choice to save Steffy, and that gratitude could dramatically alter the family dynamic. Ridge would also be forced to reconsider his position because although Sheila previously shot Steffy, she has already saved Taylor's life, and now she may have saved Steffy as well. Those actions would not erase the terrible things Sheila has done, but they would make it much harder for Ridge and the others to view her in simple black and white terms. If Sheila saves Steffy, it could genuinely become a game-changing moment that forces the Forresters to reconsider just how much distance they can realistically maintain between Sheila and the family. Back in Los Angeles, Brooke's anger toward Katie is unlikely to disappear quietly. Brooke is expected to confront her sister over the fragrance deal because she feels Katie is taking pieces of the Forrester Creations playbook and turning them into opportunities for herself. From Brooke's perspective, it may feel as though Katie is stealing one page after another from the Forrester world, particularly after everything that has happened between the Logan sisters and the Forresters. At the same time, there is an obvious reality that fashion houses commonly expand beyond clothing into fragrances, accessories, jewelry, and other products. So Katie's move is not necessarily as shocking from a business standpoint as Brooke believes it is. Nevertheless, emotions are likely to overwhelm logic, and Brooke could once again see the fragrance deal as another personal betrayal rather than simply a business decision. That confrontation could add another layer of tension, just as Ridge and Brooke are preparing to hear an idea that might help Forrester Creations fight its way out of a growing financial problem. At the same time, Mellis Dillon and Will Spencer are expected to grow increasingly close, and their relationship is about to become even more intense. The two are reportedly headed toward a night of passion, with Dillon finally getting what she wants from Will after the tension between them has continued to build. But their romantic development may also create an unexpected danger for RJ and Elektra, because Dillon could potentially overhear RJ becoming excited about his plans to pitch Elektra's youth line. If Dillon realizes how valuable that information could be, she may begin thinking about ways to use it to her advantage. What appears to be a private romantic moment could therefore become the doorway to another scheme, with Dillon gaining information that could potentially give her leverage over the people around her. As the personal relationships become more complicated, RJ and Elektra are simultaneously moving closer together in both their professional and personal lives. RJ and Elektra are expected to strengthen their bond as they work toward bringing his ambitious fashion concept to life. With Ridge and Brooke returning to Los Angeles ahead of Steffy, they may be among the first people to hear RJ's major proposal for a new youth-focused fashion line. His idea is not simply to create another collection, but to build an entire concept around Elektra, making her the face and muse of the dresses, while RJ and Zende Forrester serve as the designers behind the line. That could give Elektra a powerful new position within the Forrester world, while also allowing RJ to prove that he has the creative vision necessary to help shape the company's future. The partnership could also deepen the emotional connection between RJ and Elektra, because their professional collaboration is already bringing them closer together in ways that may be difficult for either of them to ignore. And if RJ presents the idea at exactly the right moment, Ridge may see it as much more than a creative experiment. RJ could pitch the youth line as something Forrester Creations desperately needs to attract a younger audience, but he may also recognize another powerful selling point: the opportunity to strike back at Katie and Hope after their betrayal. If Ridge sees the collection as a way to rebuild Forrester's position while simultaneously answering the challenge coming from Katie and Hope, he may embrace the concept without hesitation. There is an even more urgent reason for the Forresters to take the idea seriously, because the company is reportedly facing financial trouble after Eric's couture line cost far more than expected and failed to generate the sales they had hoped for. Ridge has already told Steffy and Brooke about the disappointing sales figures, making it clear that Forrester Creations cannot simply wait for business to improve on its own. They need something major, something fresh, and something capable of generating excitement quickly, because if they fail to find that solution, the company could face serious consequences. RJ's youth line could therefore arrive at precisely the moment when Forrester needs a bold new direction the most. And just when the family drama seems ready to explode in every direction, another arrival is waiting on the horizon. Darcy Dillon is set to make her debut as Dylan's mother in roughly 2 weeks, placing her first appearance right around the end of the month. Her arrival could add an entirely new layer to Dylan's storyline and potentially change the dynamics surrounding her relationships and ambitions. With Dylan already moving closer to Will, possibly gaining sensitive information about RJ's plans and becoming more deeply involved in the world surrounding Forrester Creations, the appearance of her mother could not come at a more intriguing time. Meanwhile, Monaco is leaving Steffy, Finn, and Sheila with consequences that may reshape their family relationships forever, while Brooke and Katie remain locked in a bitter struggle over business and betrayal. RJ and Electra are stepping toward a potentially transformative professional partnership, and Forrester Creations is desperately searching for a way to recover from its financial setbacks, setting the stage for a week filled with romance, danger, family conflict, and revelations that could change the future of everyone involved.